G'day, viewer. Big Kev here on the Triumph. The other day put up a video, it was a microphone test, and I thought I might as well show my commute up to work and put it to music. I know music videos are not everyone's cup of tea, but a lot of the comments, people were saying, we'd like to swap with you for a commute, Kev, that looked like a great commute. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm commuting home from Cabramatta. And this is peak hour traffic in front of me, being the ski season still. He just came out of Mount Selwyn. And it got me thinking, like a lot of city people think it's really good, but I'll tell you what, riding in and living and riding in the country does have its drawbacks. And it depends if it outweighs the advantages or not, but two drawbacks is the wildlife I have to put up with. Now it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is the latest I want to be out on a bike, especially going home, because of the kangaroos and the wallabies and the wombats. They're all as smart as some of the pedestrians you get in Sydney or London, but they just love coming out at you, and they're a bit hard to see, and they'll just suddenly dash out. And from where I live at Cabramatta, we've also got wild horses and wild pigs and goats that you have to worry about as well. So late in the afternoon you're restricted a lot. You can ride, but you just got to be very, very careful and adjust your speed accordingly when you're out for a ride later on in the afternoon or early in the morning. So there's one drawback compared to say living in the city and riding in the city. And I think the major drawback of living and riding in the country is the traffic. For me, that is, because when I lived in Sydney 20 odd years ago, I used to ride, and it was always commuting, and I used to filter all the time before it was legal. Who didn't? And you had a really good traffic sense, and you had the sense of awareness of all around you on your sides, and every time you pulled up, you're watching your mirrors and make sure that idiot behind you is stopping, and whereabouts you pulled up on a light, if you had an escape route and everything else. All them little things that once you become experienced, maybe you tend to take for granted. But I think it was about this time last year, I rode through Sydney on my way to Port Macquarie, and I went to the meet-up with Captain Cranky and Mr. Oz Adventure and Steel Fabric and 2v1 on roadie and a few of the other guys, which is a great experience. But what I learnt then, and I've even gone back and looked at some of the raw footage there, I might as well have been a car, because I couldn't filter, and I had been so long out of the city traffic I couldn't filter, and I lost that sense of awareness around me of the traffic and what the cars were doing. Sure, the traffic is a hell of a lot more nowadays than it was 15, 20 years ago, but still, I really had to concentrate. And sure, maybe after a time, a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two in a city, I'd pick it all up again. But I live that far away from the city, and I'm not boasting. The last time I saw a traffic light was about 7 or 8 months ago. So I had lost all that, and that is a major disadvantage for a person like myself, going to the city. But for city people riding in the country, most people can ride, and you retain that awareness when you're in traffic. So what do you reckon? Does it outweigh it? Living in the city and then retaining that awareness, and then you can go for your country rides and then back to the city. But there is, I won't say it's a disadvantage, but there is one concern that I have for city riders, and where I am now, or at Cabramatta during the Phillip Island MotoGP, they have the bikes come through there a lot because it's it's a great twisty road. There's not much traffic, and except for that one copper that sits there every year booking everyone at Cabramatta. It's the only time you see a copper there. But they tend to, everyone that comes off the road that we assist, and we assist unfortunately quite a few motorcycles that come off up there, are city riders. They don't quite have, a lot of them, not all, a lot of them don't have that country riding, that twisty, ability. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon the disadvantage of me living in the country and riding in the country and very rarely going to the city outweighs the time that I have to go? Oh, just something to think about. I'm approaching Yucambine River, and it's very, very cold. Be careful. Let us know in the comments, and I'll catch you all later.